run junkies, welcome to Dots and Donuts, my new series featuring my perfect Rundisney journey for the coming year. Today I'm going to explain the long-term goal, give you kind of an overview of what the coming year is going to look like and probably beyond that, and then explain the plan just a little bit. Now, this is going to be a feature, Dots and Donuts, here on the channel most weeks. Plus, my usual training tips and weekend updates are also going to be a regular thing. So I hope you subscribe as we take on this crazy journey together. Let's get started. Now, in case you missed it, I'm running perfect Rundisney from November of 22 to at least November of 2023. And now perfect really is in quotes in this situation. Being perfect in Rundisney circles just means a person has done all of the races of a kind. For example, a perfect marathoner has done every Disney marathon since they started. About 30 of them, right? So using that application, that's what we mean here. But the really big question I get pretty much every year is, how do I train for all of these events in such a short time frame? Specifically, the most specific question is going from the Dopey Challenge into Princess is a question that I get a lot. So first, let me tell you what is involved in the perfect Rundisney year. So starting with Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend, that's up first in November. It includes 5K, 10K, and half marathon on 3 consecutive days. 9 weeks later, you have the Dopey Challenge, which may not need an introduction if you're watching this, but this is the 5K, 10K, half, then full marathon on 4 consecutive days, and that happens in early January. Less than 7 weeks after that, you have the Princess 5K, 10K, and half marathon in late February. And then finally, less than 7 weeks after that, you have the Springtime Surprise in mid-April, which at this point, it's still very much a surprise. Literally, we have no idea what to expect right now. We have no idea what it's going to look like. However, I do feel comfortable making a couple of assumptions around the Springtime Surprise. And those are that there will be 3 races of 3 different distances, with the longest likely not being longer than a half marathon. We still don't know. That's just an educated guess. So hopefully we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. We should know by the end of August. And then after that is Wine and Dine once more, but that is 7 months beyond springtime, so it's pretty far out there. We don't really have to worry about that too much. Now, for normal people, just one of these events really should warrant their own training cycle, right? They're big weekends. We're Rundisney people. I'll leave it at that. The big question is, how are we going to recover from one to get ready for the next? The answer is really, we don't train for each and every event as their own standalone weekend. And that's what I'm doing when I'm looking at this overall training cycle over the next year. It's really like an annual training plan. And I'm breaking this down into 4 phases right now. So we're in phase 1 right now. Since we just started training, we're a couple of weeks in. The objective is the Dopey Challenge. That's my A goal. And I know Wine and Dine is in there, but really I'm just thinking about Dopey and the marathon on the end of that. So Wine and Dine can be viewed as kind of a dress rehearsal for the Dopey Challenge. You have 3 early mornings, you're on property, you're running through all of the crazy that happens at Rundisney events, and it's a great way to kind of get your bearings, especially if you've never done a Rundisney race before. It helps you get ready for Dopey. The training plan gives you enough miles to get you to Wine and Dine, and we're gonna run those races nice and easy, use them as training runs for the Dopey Challenge. Now the next phase 2, is that next training block runs from the day after Dopey through Springtime Surprise, okay? The objective here is to recover from Dopey well, all right? We're not rushing back into the running. We're building miles back up easily for whatever the April event is gonna be. And yes, I know, Princess is along the way, but like Wine and Dine, Princess is more of a waypoint than an actual target we're trying to hit. And it's likely that the Princess Half Marathon will be my longest run coming out of the Dopey Challenge. Phase 3 is recovery and base building and will run just after Springtime Surprise until late July. The objective here is just to take a little bit of time off, take a break from all of the running all the time, maybe enjoy this summer, maybe have a spring race, but I'm not really planning anything. Really, I just want to take a little time off and relax a little bit. Then phase 4 is really starting all of that all over again. Phase 4 really has the same objective as phase 1. We're rebuilding mileage and getting ready for Wine and Dine. Now the training plan itself is something that I created, and if you want to check it out, you can find that plus several other single race and multi-day challenge plans in the description. This one generally has me running 4 days a week, 2 cross training days and 1 full rest day. Now some weeks in there is more than 1 run. But usually, more often than not, it's 4 runs a week. Now for first-time dopies, I don't often recommend a lot of speed work, but since I've seen these events multiple times, I'm comfortable making one of those runs a speed day if I'm feeling it. Maybe it won't happen every week. Every running day, I'm gonna follow my runs up with some runner's strength and some yoga to polish that off. But really, the strength work is where I'm going to be spending quite a bit more time than I have in the past. I am finding that as I get older, I just need more of it. I need to lift heavy stuff with weights and reps and not just to support my running, but to keep my overall fitness level. So those 2 strength workouts on non-running days, those are going to be my cross-training days. Those are going to be very, very important. Now, so the bottom line here, okay, the point to all of this is to think of this whole thing in chunks. It's so easy to get overwhelmed when we look at the minutia of the day-to-day training. We get ahead of ourselves rather than live where we are right now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking 1 week at a time on my way to dealing with that puny purple-capped punk. Everything beyond that doesn't matter. 1 week at a time, 1 run at a time. We'll be there and we'll get there before you know it. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode of Dots and Donuts. There will be much more about my training plans to come as we go through, but my question for you is, what questions do you have about my training? I'd love to hear from you, so please leave thoughts, questions, comments, and suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends so we can share the journey together. And don't forget, you can support my Rundisney journey through my Team MSAA fundraising page, and you can support the Runners Without Limits Network over on Patreon, where you will get exclusive access to behind the scenes and additional content. That is going to do it for me, you guys. Thanks so much for watching and supporting me on this journey. Until next time, remember, you have no limits. Happy running.